Hey Jasper United Methodist Church family, welcome to my front porch. The chance of rain kind of ran me from the deck today to the front porch. I wanted to take a few minutes just to kind of check in with you and to update you on some things. I want to start by once again saying thank you to all the folks who are continuing to practice the spiritual discipline of generosity. Your blessing to the church has been so wonderful throughout all of this so far. I'm very thankful for the continued gifts every week. I want to remind you that you can mail those into the church office. You can also drop them by the church office from on Monday through Thursday from 8:30 till about 12 o'clock. I'm there a little later. I can stay later. If you need to come by, just give me a call or drop me a message and let me know that you need to come in a little after 12. Be glad to hang around. Also want to encourage you, if you're out and about and you are comfortable coming by and just having a conversation, just saying hello. Kathy and I are open to that as we are there. We're willing to wear a mask if you want to wear a mask. We're going to social distance, all of that, but we'd love to have you come by. And if you'd like to make an appointment, love to have you come and sit down and talk a little bit. We can sit in my office. We can go outside. We can meet under the portico and bring out a couple of chairs, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I just want to make that available to you. Kathy put together a great June newsletter, and if you haven't seen it yet, it's available on the website. It's available on our Facebook page. If you'd like to have one mailed to you, if you'd like to have one emailed to you, just call the church office. If you'd like to stop by, she can print one out for you and put it in your hand, whichever you prefer. But my front cover this month is about our potential in-person worship starting up about mid-July. We are contemplating July 12th being our first day back together in-person worship. Now the reason for that is our conference kind of asked us to wait till after June 22nd. The staff and I talked about it, and we decided to wait just a little bit longer. Typically I take vacation in the latter part of June, first part of July, and the staff really wanted to encourage me to take advantage of that, and not to mention that Gregory's getting married on the 27th of June, and so we're putting it off till July 12th. Now the way it's going to work is on July 12th we will offer two worship services. We will have a 9 o'clock traditional service and an 11 o'clock contemporary service. Now there's no intention for that to stay that way. Our hope is that eventually we'll be back to our 3 worship services a Sunday, and they'll go back to the same styles that they have been. But right now, this just seems to be the way to begin this process. I want to encourage you, because we're going to have to ask you to make some reservations for these worship services. We've looked at our square footage. We've looked at the possibilities using the CDC guidelines. And we're going to start with 60 people in each service. That means you're going to have to make a reservation to come and be part of the worship service so that we can ensure we keep it at 60. This is for our own health. This is for our own good. The hope is as time goes by, we'll be able to increase that number, and before long, we'll be back to our regular schedule. We'll be back to our regular numbers. But until then, this is where we need to start. We've searched the CDC, we've listened to the guidelines of our annual conference, and we have looked into what other churches are doing. And that's kind of why we're starting the way we're starting. One of the other recommendations is going to be mask, and I know there's mixed emotions about mask. And I understand that, but the CDC is still recommending them to be worn in public. That it is one of the best ways to ensure and to lower the risk of the spreading of the COVID-19 virus. So we're going to encourage you to bring your own if you have one you're comfortable with, or we're going to make some disposable ones available to folks as they come in the door. I just really think this is important, folks, and I hope that we can agree to comply and take care of one another in this way. I know they're uncomfortable. I know that they're not something that we all agree on, but for our purposes and to reduce this risk for one another, it's going to be the best policy for us to have. We have also ordered hand sanitizer and hand sanitizing stations. Those are all going to hopefully be here by the end of June and available for us come July. We're going to encourage everyone to use those, take advantage of those. Bring your own hand sanitizer as well as your own mask. One of the other recommendations is our restrooms. We will have our restrooms open, but we are going to recommend only 2 folks per restroom. Just, again, for our safety, trying to practice that social distancing. That's why we're limiting the number to 60 people in a worship service. We're going to be using every other row and spreading out that way. You'll be able to sit as family units, so be assured of that. You'll be able to sit as a family unit, but you'll still be 6 feet away from everybody else as a family. So please be aware of those things as well. Just trying to do what is recommended. One of the hardest things to talk about is the encouragement for folks. If you have immune issues, if you are sick, if you are in that vulnerable age category, I want to encourage you to consider continuing to watch the online service. We will be showing an online service each week live during the 9 and the 11 o'clock services. So be aware that that's going on. And if you fall into one of those categories, it may be for your best to do that. I'm not saying you can't come. I'm not telling you not to make a reservation. What I'm saying is the CDC makes this recommendation, and it's my responsibility to make that recommendation to you. So I hope you'll take that with what it's meant. It's meant with a heart of caring for you. We've done a lot of soul searching. We've done a lot of praying. We've done a lot of research, and this is all with the hopes that we can come together for worship and enjoy worship together as best we possibly can. If we're seeing that we're filling up the services every week at 9 and 11, then the staff will talk about making an additional service available. The biggest part of this is we need time between the services to redo and repair and rework and sanitize the areas and the surfaces. Speaking of that, one last thought, we're going to need some help. We're going to need some servants who are willing to come between the service, either stay after the 9 o'clock or come before the 11, and help sanitize the surfaces. We have available to us and have purchased some UVC wands to help sanitize our seats and those kinds of things. We're going to be reversing the order of seating so that the 9 o'clock folks aren't sitting in the same seats at the 11 o'clock and so forth. And so we're going to need some help doing that. We're going to need some help at each service being door openers. Alleviating as many people as possible having to touch the hard surfaces of the door. And so if you're willing to do any of that, if you're willing to be a servant in the midst of this, if you would simply call the church office, send an email to me, send me a text message, however you can get in touch with me, just send a message to me and let me know. Send a message to Kathy in the office. Let me know that you're willing to be one of those servants. And we'll be talking and pulling those folks together to talk about how we're going to make all this work. I sure hope that you will take time to read through the newsletter and to see the things that are going on, and just keep praying with me that we can move toward seeing all of this change and go back to some semblance of what we call normal. Again, I want to thank you for your prayers. I want to thank you for the folks who reached out to Lydia through Facebook, through cards and letters, just to say congratulations to her for her retirement. Really appreciate you lifting her up and celebrating with her as she retires after 30 years of teaching in the Georgia public school system. I want to thank you as well for your support of my family and for the opportunity that you give me to be your pastor. I hope you have a good day today, and I hope that God's blessings continue to go with you. Take care. Bye-bye.